These two examples are the perfect example. Both are strong character people. Their response in 3D is just a reflection of their personality. It's not their character. And it's never, never about labeling your actions. Your actions are not what's important. It's your inner state that's important. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Irresistible and I'm a manifestation and soul realignment coach. My channel is geared towards helping you become your highest potential so that you can create and live the extraordinary life that is your birthright. In today's video, I'll be talking about how to react to bad behavior, knowing that we are creating it all. But before we get started, just a quick reminder that I offer both email and video coaching. So if you need help in manifesting any of your desires or in releasing any of your blocks, you definitely want to check out all my coaching options. They are in the description below. And I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon if you'd like to receive a notification anytime I upload a new video. So this video is inspired by a discussion I had with two of my lovely clients on a group coaching call that was inspired by a daily email that I send out to my email list every single day. If you'd like to receive such advice on a daily basis, things like tips and small pieces of information, aha moments I have from my discussions with clients, as well as quotes, you may want to sign up to my daily manifesting reminders. You'll find them as the first link in the description below. It's daily.munashabil.com. So I'm gonna read out the actual daily message that triggered the conversation in the group coaching call. The message reads, when I tell clients to not create change in 3D, they assume that this means accepting bad behavior from others or not speaking up, which indicates to them a weakness in character. That's how they interpret it. That when I don't speak up, because I'm not supposed to react to circumstances, they are feeling weak, like they're not strong, they don't have a good self-concept and all of that. So then I go on to say, well, that's just not true, because I must remind you that a strong character is an inner state. It's not something you need to verbalize. So it's never about what you say or do in 3D. If you need to say to show that you have a strong character, then you're not holding the inner state. So that was the daily manifesting reminder. So this was where the discussion was heading, because the thing with not reacting to circumstances, it does not mean that we are accepting the circumstances. And you jumping to the conclusion that by not reacting to circumstances, then you have a weak character or you have a weak self-concept, you're really missing the point. You are keeping quiet in order to create the change you desire. I will give you a very good practical example from my own life, because in the end, it all depends. It's a very subjective situation which you can't really speak about broadly, because it all depends on what your pattern is. I'm going to give two different examples. One that's from my own experience. One is from one of the people from the group coaching call. The first example is me. In my past, I used to be very reactive. So when someone says something I don't like, I have no problem pointing that out to them, snapping back, sometimes extremely nasty. I've done that and I'm not proud. I have to say, I'm just not proud. It's been years since I've worked on myself and I've stopped being that reactive. But there was still a time, even after I had worked on myself, where I would still get immensely triggered and snap. And I wanted to work on that. I was very clear. I was doing a life coaching session, and one of the actions I needed to take was I wanted to stop being so reactive. In the end, I always felt bad afterwards. It always took me out of my feel-good space. I didn't like it. I just did not like being in that state. And I just couldn't control it. When someone was rude to me, I would snap back and just speak my mind. So one of the intentions I set was to be more mindful of that and to not snap back very fast. And of course, that happened very fast after that intention was set. Within less than a week, I got that opportunity. I was talking to a business coach where I was the client, by the way. I was the client, he was the coach. And he said something to me that was so incredibly rude. He was insulting. He was literally insulting to me. And of course, the old me would have given him a piece of my mind. I would have put him off. I would have told him that that was not okay, and probably in an equally nasty way. But then I was like, okay, so this is my opportunity. I was on the phone with him and I was triggered. I'm not going to tell you I was not triggered. I was incredibly triggered, but I listened to him and I remembered my intention. Like, my intention is to not react. Not verbally react. I'm not going to react to that. So I did not react. Was I triggered? Immensely. I was immensely triggered. I'm not going to lie and say I was not triggered. So then I held that in. Didn't say anything. My ego was extremely triggered, but I didn't say anything. And after the call, a few hours later, he sends me a message apologizing. I smiled. I'm like, you see, in the end, it worked out. About 10 days later, he was rude to me again. And this time, ironically, I was not as triggered. So amazing. I can't explain to you, but that was my intention, is for me to just not be so quick to respond and get so irritated and respond to people negatively. So what's happening is, the first opportunity I held back, but I was triggered. The second opportunity, I actually noticed him being rude, but I was not as triggered. Of course, I didn't say anything because the need to say something is when you're triggered. So I was not bothered. I'm like, oh, okay, there he goes again. And then after that, his behavior changed. He stopped being rude. He stopped being insulting. And actually, I discovered that that's his personality. Everyone thinks he's rude and insulting. So all the better that I don't even need to get to bother with that. Why should I feel bothered by a remark I make that is really not who I want to be? Because that's not who I want to be. Not because I care about people liking me, but because that impacts me physically. I don't like it. So I don't like being that way. And so why should I respond to him and take myself out when that's how he is with everyone? And who cares, right? And there is a part of us growing internally, growing spiritually, where, you know what, not everything is about us. Let him deal with his own problems. I'm not going to be part of that. So in the end, I never once questioned me having a strong character. I know I have it. I know I have it. It's not for me to show it physically, right? It's an inner state. Nothing externally defines whether or not I have a strong character. That's self-concept. It's an inner state. It's not an external thing. When you need to get that validation externally, you're not holding that state internally. So going into the second example, which was mentioned by one of the participants to the group coaching, she said that in contrast to me, she tends to stay quiet when people respond or react in a negative way. So she's the polar opposite. I'm reactive, I say it, I regret it. She never says anything. That's her personality. It's not good or bad. Nobody's good or bad. That's the personality. It doesn't mean she's weak, by the way. Very important. It's just her personality. She does not react. And actually, I know her very well. She actually has a very strong character, but she does not respond. One of the things that happened was someone was insulting to her, was very rude to her, and she felt that she needed to tell them that's not okay. And she said it in a way that was going to not add fuel to the fire, but actually just cause that situation to go away. So she said it in a loving but assertive way. So she said that's not okay. So she needed to do that, and that is perfectly okay. The whole point of this video is to tell you that it's never about what you do in 3D. It's never about what you do in 3D. Just because I don't react, these two examples are the perfect example. Both are strong character people. Their response in 3D is just a reflection of their personality. It's not their character. So going back, it's never about what you're doing in 3D. Remember that. If someone is rude to you, it's all your decision in terms of the patterns you want to shift in your reality, the patterns of behavior you'd like to shift. That's up to you. And it's never, never about labeling your actions. Your actions are not what's important. It's your inner state that's important. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then please like, comment, and share. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.